You don't know calls happening while they on the call?
Let's do it.
It is now time for the Jeff Fox Radio Show. Jeff Fox Radio Show. Turn it up and get ready to talk sports and entertainment with your favorite sports brother. Follow the Jeff Fox Show on Instagram. That's at the Jeff Fox Show. Follow him on Twitter at Sports Bros Radio. And follow the Jeff Fox Show on Facebook at the Jeff Fox Show. Remember to subscribe on YouTube to Jeff Fox. You can always choose to support Jeff on Cash App. $ Radio Host 1. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the Jeff Fox Show. Powered by Brand Star Sports and Entertainment.
Welcome. Woo. Welcome to the Jeff Fox Show, everybody. I am your host, Jeff Fox, on the box, and I'm joined by my co-producer and esteemed co-host, Randy Savage. What up, Randy? What's up, man? What's poppin', pimpin'? What's going on, man? How was the weekend?
Oh, man, it was chill. I got a lot of stuff done. Chilled. No football, so I didn't have to go ahead and shoot nothing. So, it was a lot of vibes. I watched that, what was it? That Bama game. It's always good to see Bama lose. Just a lot of good stuff happened over the weekend. I'm always on good vibes.
Did I put that in the show? There's a clip I have of this kid, right? The kid from was it Texas A&M? I think his name is Brett.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have the yes. No, Seth. His name is Seth.
I watched that live too. It was a great game.
Yo, dude had his whole family there, man. When they beat, shout out to Texas A&M, man, with the upset of the weekend. Yeah.
Big stuff too, because they look like hardcore Christians. Like they
look like a real wholesome family.
Yeah. Like real wholesome. Like you
Good
remember
people.
Seven Heaven? Like Seven Heaven. That's how they looked.
Yo, I got the video of them, and I'm gonna get to all the formalities and stuff. But Randy Savage brought this up. The kicker is his name is Seth Small. What a name! He sounds like I don't know, it's like somebody from Sunday school.
It's a cool name, bro. I'm thinking Seth he's like Small. He's got to be someone that feeds the poor.
Yeah, man.
Like very good.
Boy Scout cookies. Boy Scout cookies, right?
Yeah. Like he gives off like all American Boy Scout.
Yeah. Well, Seth Small slayed the mighty Crimson Tide of Alabama on Saturday night for Texas A&M. And here's his family as they anxiously and prayerfully wish for the best. You see Grandma ran on, was that Grandma or was that Mom?
I don't think that was Mom.
It had to be Mom. She ran on the field.
Let's go, baby.
You know, Seth about to Seth about to move to another level, right?
Of course.
He getting all the clubs free, and all the chicks that didn't used to know his name now know his name.
He have to ask for not $1 million in Texas Station
ever. Seth gets in the strip club free, all of them, the black ones and the white ones. Seth is the man up there.
Yeah, big shout out to them though. And even though I hate root for this guy, shout out to Jimbo Fisher for his win against Saban.
Yeah, that's the first. I do believe Alabama assistant to beat Senor Nick up there in for Texas A&M. The first
one, lose, man. He don't lose. He don't lose to any of his disciples.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody, man, that's tuned in. Shout out to the X Squad, man. We appreciate all of you checking us out tonight. Make sure you share the links to the show. Mm-hmm. And of course, we are live on Twitter, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. You can share us everywhere, man. And it's a growing thing. So, shout to the haters who are there trying to hate on the show. It's love for y'all too, man. Love for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? So this is how we do it on a Monday. You can call it the Monday after football weekend or whatever you want to do. But you know what? We here, man. We here. We're chopping it up. We're talking sports. I got my main man, Randy Savage. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you feeling? I saw you earlier on the picture you sent. I'm thinking you got punched out by somebody or
Tyson Fury didn't get me. He didn't get me. But I do have an eye infection. So I am here in the studio by myself, just hanging out. Just me. In the crickets. That's it. Nobody else is here. I didn't even go to the round table last night, man. And round table, my bad, dog. My bad. I know I missed a good time last night, man. Because everybody was going live from the round table last night.
Yeah,
old school Sunday, man. Old school Sunday is the bomb.
When I gotta have my drink in my hand and go 1-2 step.
I got my drink, get my 2-step. My drink, get my 2-step. It's so.
That's considered old school yet? I mean, that's still old school yet?
That's old school, man. It's old school. So I was very disappointed that I didn't get to go to the round table last night. And then I had to put up with the stinking Raiders losing to the Chicago Bears.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm so sorry.
I know, man. You know what? When we were 3-0, I didn't buy into it. I didn't buy into the bullshit. I knew the Raiders would eventually come back to being the Raiders. But, I'm not the only one that had to put up with a long day yesterday. Fans of the Miami Dolphins. Tom Brady.
Open that womb.
Tom Brady is ruthless.
Oh, he wanted to score as much as possible, as fast as possible.
You know what I think? I think Tom Brady suffers from the same thing Michael Jordan suffered from. He might have been cut in kindergarten. He might have not got any girls in school. He got beef with everybody.
Remember, he was drafted at 199th in 2000. In the 2000 draft, like you're in the 6th round, 199th. Like that's gonna give you so much, like a bigger chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, about 6:20. Well, we're off the clock already because we started a little late, but in a little bit, we're going to be joined by Lorenzo Ice-T to kind of dissect the Dolphins situation because people are mad. People are mad.
Oh, it hurts too. It hurts too that you look around the other side of the country and you see that boy just Jay Urbo just kill it. Dolphins fans are pitchforks, man.
Yeah. They got the pitchforks out. They are hot. Tom Brady yesterday 411 yards, 5 touchdown passes. You know, I mean, he was just cutting the throats of everybody.
What was it? AB was dancing on them too. Yo, first off, shout out to AB, man. Dade County excellence.
Miami Northern Vikings in the house.
Dancing up on the Dolphins.
Miami Northern Vikings in the house. AB, AB set some sort of record yesterday. I do believe he had a 62-yarder and a 4-yard touchdown. He joined Julio Jones, Jerry Rice, Torrey Holt, and Andre Johnson as the only players in league history with 12,000 career receiving yards in fewer than 150 games. Give it up for AB, man. Give it up for AB.
Hey, remember he was almost out of the league too a couple years ago.
Hey, never count a day, kind of do it out, man. But you know what? The man of the hour yesterday, Thomas Brady.
101, 2 touchdowns. Uh-oh. To Evans! Touchdown, Tampa Bay! There is a marker down. Well, the next-gen stat go route we talked about. I think it's going to...
Yeah, I felt bad for the Dolphin fans that I was around yesterday.
Ooh.
I mean,
it was rough, man.
Then you had Tom Brady scrambling for the first down. You know,
at one point he had more rushing yards than the Dolphins.
Tom Brady scrambling for the first down. You know, I don't know, man. I think Tom Brady's going to play till he's 75 and going to be running over folks like this. Tom Brady, touchdown!
The way that offensive line looked, he could definitely do it.
Yeah, man. He dominated yesterday, man. Again, Brady went, and I don't know how he's doing this. 411 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, it looked like he's up by what? You know, he's up by 20 some odd points, and then he just goes for the jugular. And he did the same thing when he was in New England.
Well, not only that, plus the weather was good too. So, like, you ain't got to worry about what happened last week with New England, where everybody was dropping balls everywhere. It was perfect weather. They were playing the Dolphins secondary. It was just all good for oh Lord.
Yeah, Tom Brady's ruthless, man. Jacoby Brissett, 27 out of 39 for 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and he got beat the hell up.
He had a decent game.
Yeah.
Decent game. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Jeff Fox Jr. is here waving in my face as I do a live show right here on radio. So I will get to him momentarily. But yeah, you think the Dolphins going to make the playoffs now?
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
I'm just saying. Any hope?
Look, it's still a long season. It's a 17-game season. The road is a lot easier from here to the end of the season. We don't know. But the way that everybody else looks good, like the Browns, the Chargers.
4 in a row.
What's the other team? The Bills.
The Cowboys.
Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys? Yo, Cowboy Nation. Stand up. That part. Cowboy Nation, stand up, man. Oh man. I gotta give it up for the Cowboys because, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by the number 1 Miami Dolphin, Lorenzo Ice-T Thomas, right here on the Jeff Fox Show when we return, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, let me take you back to school. It's all about the old school Sundays at the Round Table, 11205 Northwest 7th Avenue. The fun starts early at 6 p.m. with yours truly, baby, DJ Jeff Fox, playing the jam. We got pool tables, flat screen, everywhere. Come watch the big game. And we've got the best daily happy hour in the city. The best bartenders serving up our daily drink special. Tequila sour, lemon drop, sex on the beach, amaretto sour, Washington apple, only $4. Margaritas only $5, and a whole lot more. You want shots? We got shots. Bacardi, Tito's, Hennessy, Patron. Why go anywhere else? Come vibe with us at the Round Table. Yes, the Round Table, 11205 Northwest 7th Avenue. And you know you got to be there.
To contact the Jeff Fox Show, send your email to getthattea@gmail.com. That's GETDATTEA@gmail.com. The Jeff Fox Show is powered by the Brand Star Sports and Entertainment. Sports, entertainment's lifestyle. We give the people what they want. And now back to more of the Jeff Fox Show.
Yeah, we are back here on the Jeff Fox Show. Follow us on our Instagram at the Jeff Fox Show. That's how you get at me. Also, check out the new website, thejefffoxshow.com. Got that brand new website popping up, everybody. Yeah. So let's go straight to the Telly the video stream. We're joined by Lorenzo Ice Thomas.
Can I get some crowd? Can I get a crowd? Some
Yeah,
applause
yeah.
or something? Can I get something? Yes. That's those cheers are for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being merciful to my Miami Dolphins, because you know they could have put 50 on us. They could have put 50. They surely could have, and they decided to take a knee. They could have put 50 on us.
It was bad, Lord.
Yeah. Well, it was a bad fourth quarter. Let's put it that way. Or like the last quarter and a half, it's when it really got bad, because they did, score and make it 24-17, and that's when Brady said, "Okay, all right, I'm done playing around with you guys." And then he was throwing bombs. When they tied it up 24-17, he was throwing bombs. He was going deep, and I think I know why he was doing that.
Who would you attribute that to?
Well, let's go back to when Tom Brady first decided to leave the New England Patriots, right? Uh-huh. And if you remember, he was on LeBron's The Shop. And there was a time he was quoted. He's on video saying that he never told us which team he was talking about. But if he wanted to get back at Bill Belichick, he wanted to stay in the AFC East. Now, when he was looking at free agency, he was looking towards going to a warm climate, right? He ended up going to Tampa. Right. But he had a conversation with someone. And that someone, I believe, and rumor has it, that it was the Miami Dolphins. And he said to them, probably to his friend Brian Flores, who he has a relationship with, "Oh, you're going with that mother blank." That. And he was talking about probably Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? So, if you think back, that's another bad move that no one is talking about. The Dolphins could have had Tom Brady, who wanted to take it to Bill Belichick twice a year. You could have still drafted the quarterback who had a broken hip. Let him sit on the sideline for the entire year. Let him learn behind Tom Brady. And what would have this Dolphin team looked like last year if they had Tom Brady instead of Ryan Fitzpatrick? So now, we know Tom Brady always needs something to keep him motivated. He just said, okay, let's just go ahead and check that box. Miami Dolphins didn't want me, so I decided to go to Tampa Bay. That's when he came out in the second half. He said, "Oh, I'm going to put it on them." Started throwing bombs because y'all didn't think I still had it. So what did he end up doing? Throwing for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. This is to say to Stephen Ross, to Chris Greer, his friend Brian Flores, you could have had me on your team. but now you look like trash. And I'm going to go ahead and attack all of these guys that are supposed to be pro bowlers and shut down corners. I'm going after X. I'm going after Byron. Oh, yeah, and I know that Jerome Baker can't really cover backs out of the backfield. I'm going to attack him as well. Oh, yeah, I'll go after Coleman and Nick Needham as well. But he specifically attacked every single player that is considered to be a baller on that Miami defense. Normally Xavier Howard has problems covering speedy wide receivers on crossing patterns. And that's exactly what they did to him. Because he doesn't have the speed to keep up. Diggs, they didn't put him on Diggs last year in Buffalo because he didn't have the speed when they're doing them to keep up with them. Some receivers, he can let him get ahead and then he can catch up, and that's when he makes those interceptions. But I remember that quote on the shop when Brady said, "Oh, you're going with that mother?" And yesterday he said, "I'm going to let them know that they effed up."
Yeah.
And that's what he did yesterday to the Miami. Applause, Jeff, because no one else has said that. Applause. Give it to me. Give it to me. Let me hear it. Thank you very much.
In a major way.
Yeah.
In a major way, man. And I'm telling you, man, Tom Brady looked like he was pissed.
Oh, yeah, he was. He wanted to play. No, just imagine that.
Lorenzo.
Just imagine that. He wanted to get back at Belichick in the worst way. What better way to come down to Florida, which he did. Yep. No state taxes, all those years where you were taking pay cuts so they can sign. Now he didn't have to worry about taxes. He would play against Bill Belichick twice a year and be able to put it to him. And the Dolphins were like, no. Basically, no. And the Dolphins were coming off of that Week 17 game where they defeated Belichick and Tom Brady. Week 17, they basically knocked them out of getting the bye, and instead of having that playoff game at home, they had to go on the road. So they saw Brady up close and personal, so they're figuring, okay, maybe he has lost it. So he picks up the phone off season. I'm going to become a free agent, calls Brian Flores. It's like, hey, Chris Greer, what's going on? I'm trying to come. Now we're going to stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh, y'all staying with that mother? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? All right, well, let me go on down here to Tampa and win the Super Bowl for them.
Not only that,
he could have worked out any better for him. You know?
And then you could have still drafted Tua, right? You could have had Tua, let him sit out. I've always been saying that he should have had a redshirt year. He shouldn't have played at all last year.
I heard about all this yesterday.
Right. He shouldn't have played at all. And based on what we know now, he didn't know the playbook. That's probably what Brian Flores and Calvin Van Noy, they had beef. Calvin Noy's like, yo, I came here to make the playoffs. I didn't come here to have this rookie quarterback start who doesn't even know the playbook. And in fact, he ain't even healthy. Coming in game 7 with 3-3. We just beat San Francisco. We just beat the Jets 24-3. Now you're going to put this guy in who doesn't even know the playbook, and the playbook is catered towards Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's what you want to do? I'm trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's probably why they had that falling out. And some of the veterans it probably didn't come from Brian Flores. It probably came from the top. It was either Ross or it was Chris Greer, because those first 6 games, you saw what Justin Herbert was doing last year. So they're like sitting at.
Yes, you something.
Go ahead. I can keep going.
I know.
I'm heated. I'm pissed. I'm disgusted as a Dolphin fan.
How much trouble is Brian Flores and Chris Greer? I hear the echo. I don't know what that's about, but how much trouble are both of those guys?
I would say,
if you remember, Stephen Ross says, "Hey man, no more. Yeah, I want success. I want to win." He made that very clear.
Right. I would say right now Chris Greer is more on the hot seat than Brian Flores, because we're looking at these players. I mean, look at what Rousseau did last night. The defensive end out of the University of Miami, now starting for the Buffalo Bills, got an interception. You know what I mean? So you're looking at that draft choice that you could have made, but you went with Jalen Phillips instead of him. Okay? So then you're looking at what I always said. Hey, I said stay at number 3. Go ahead and pick Kyle Pitts and select Najee Harris at number 16. Now, I was on the fence. I wasn't sure the year before between Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa. I wasn't, I kind of got caught up in the hype as well. But I'm not paid to make the selection. You had Justin Herbert at the Senior Bowl. You coached. You didn't coach him, but you got a chance to see him up close and personal. And you couldn't tell that this guy had a gun on him? You couldn't tell that this guy was 6'5", and that's where I go back to saying the rumor that Brian Flores is putting out there that he wanted Justin Herbert. Dan Marino wanted Justin Herbert. That's the rumor, and it was Chris Greer and possibly Stephen Ross who wanted Tua Tagovailoa. So when you ask me that question, who's on the hot seat? If they're putting out that PR talking about, Brian Flores wanted Justin Herbert, that's keeping him safe. So right now you got to look at the selections, and then you go to this year's draft where you could have had all those picks, stayed at 3 and picked Kyle Pitts. And then Miles Gaskin did a great job, but could you imagine if they had Najee Harris in the backfield? Look what he's doing for Pittsburgh. And then but the thing is, the problem with it is if you look at the 5 first-round picks that they've had the past 2 years, every single one, you don't gamble in the first round. Every single one had a huge question mark. Let's go. Tua Tagovailoa. He's hurt. It's supposed to be career-threatening. And a career-threatening injury. They compared it to what happened to Bo Jackson, and you're still going to take a chance on this guy? Not with the number 5 pick. You don't do that. Then what came after that? Austin Jackson. He played half a season. Why? Why? Because of the bone marrow transplant that he gave his sister. I mean, as far as he's doing that, it's noble of him, but that's another question mark. And then you had Noah Igbenogany. He was one of those cornerbacks that had only played corner for 2 years. But you took a chance on him when you could have picked Trevor Diggs in the second round, who's balling for the Cowboys. You picked Noah, who's been a healthy scratch for all season, but Diggs went later on in the second round. That's another player you could have had. Now you look at all the maneuvers that Greer has done. Yes, he's done a lot to obtain picks, but it's what you do with those picks. Okay, you trade out of the number 6 or the number 6 position, right? Or the number 5 position, you trade back to 12, right? You could have stayed at 12, still kept your draft picks, and got Micah Parsons at number 12. Your linebacker core looks like some trash right now because they were doing nothing on that field against Tampa Bay. I don't know what happened with Jerome Baker yesterday, but, he was caught a lot of times sleeping, especially on that play. There was one play where Leonard Fournette was lined up to the right side or the left side of Tom Brady and then went in motion to the right. And Jerome Baker was just like standing there like he didn't even see him move. And Landon Roberts had to get his attention like, yo, get over there. And what did Brady do? Boom, threw it past him in the flat 10 yards. You know what I mean? These guys were not hitting the gaps. Landon Roberts, a couple of times, he wasn't hitting the hole correctly to fill the gap that was left to make the tackle. So the linebacker, so you could stay at 12 and picked Micah Parsons. He's over, and Micah Parsons balling in Dallas. He played a little linebacker, and now he's rushing the passer. The pressure that you needed to get. So when you sit back and look at it, I say Chris Greer's basically in more trouble than Brian Flores because Brian Flores' teams tend to start off slow and then get better as the season goes along. But my concern is whether or not he has lost some of the players in the locker room because they're playing like that. It's like the defense is starting to give up, when you get down. And one more thing, Jeff, this generation hears all of this. They see everything on social media. They see things on IG. So that all the trade talk about Deshaun Watson, that's seeping into the locker room. Everything that's happening with all of these players, they see it. They hear it on IG. That's different compared to it may have been years ago. So when you get down to Buffalo in the first 5 minutes of the game, you're down 14-0. You're smacked in the face. It feels like week 17 all over again. Now you got to stay professional and still make the plays. And that's the same thing that's happening over and over again. It's just when they get down, they got up. There was 24-14. They were competing. And then once Tampa Bay scored, it's like, here we go again. So I just think right now they need to win a game. But they can't lose this game to Jacksonville and London.
Well, I mean, that's everybody, so you never know. But again,
Do you think if they lose to Jacksonville, do you think they're going to keep Greer or Flores in London while they fly back to Miami?
Do I think someone will get fired? Nah, I don't think it'll happen this year. It may happen at the end of the year. They'll go ahead and let it go. But if it happens, I think they will be. It depends on how Tua plays. If he does play, it depends on how he plays. I mean, for them to make the playoffs, he's got to go 9-3 the rest of the way.
It's possible.
I mean, it's possible with some of the games that they're playing. The thing is that they look good in spurts. You know what I mean? If the defense, if they could get, and they have had leads. I mean, they were leading Tampa Bay, for a while. They were beating. Look at these last few games. They were ahead of Buffalo. No, they were not ahead of Indianapolis, 3-0 throughout the entire first quarter. And then it's like they had their first 25 plays. I'm not sure how many plays are scripted, but right after they get out of those scripted plays, it's like the offense is so new. There's no continuity between the quarterback, who is the backup quarterback, and the other wide receivers. Now, the offensive line did look better yesterday, and they may have found something moving forward. It's just when Tua comes back, are you going to keep Leon Eichenberg at left tackle, or are you going to move him to right tackle? So that's because that will be Tua's blind side, and we're not sure about how well Jesse Davis is going to be there. Robert Hunt has not been doing that well at right guard, so you may even think about moving him to right tackle, let Jesse play on the inside at right guard, or Solomon Kenley could go there. But if Austin Jackson can turn into a decent left guard, and you can leave Liam Eichenberg at left or right tackle, I think they've now you can go ahead and start playing and get some continuity. But if they lose to Jacksonville, that's a less than 8-hour flight from London all the way back home. I've taken that flight before going out there.
Oh,
and,
man.
I mean, Stephen Ross is like 80-something years old. He may just say, look, y'all go ahead, trade for Deshaun Watson. That we need the quarterback. Because nowadays you need, look at the game between Kansas City and Buffalo last night. Look at the game between San Diego and the Cleveland Browns, right? Your defense is going to have a bad day. Sooner or later they are, and you're going to need a quarterback that could look at was Green Bay and Cincinnati. That game, you have to put points on the board, and sometimes you're going to have to throw the ball, so you need the elite quarterback to do that. So if you have to go out there and if you have to bring in Cam, if you got to bring in Deshaun Watson, something is going to have to be done. Let the NFL go get Deshaun. But don't give up the house to get him. But at least if
you got to give him the house, give him the house.
I mean, I'm not talking about 3 number ones and 2 number twos. I mean, like your 3 number ones, give him number 1 next year and 2 number twos in 2023. You've not been picking the right plays in the first round anyway. So what difference does it make?
I agree.
So I really don't think it will. It depends on how bad the loss is. Because I predicted we were going to lose to New England yesterday, but I didn't think we were going to. To Tampa Bay. It was Tom Brady, right? I predicted we were going to. I predicted 30. I said on someone's show yesterday on Steven's show yesterday. I said 30-something to 17 Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? So I was pretty close. But I just the Dolphins will not have enough offense to be able to compete with them. But if they lose to Jacksonville, it's going to be bad. Yeah, it's going to be bad. And I mean, so I think heads will have to roll. It might not be Chris Greer or Brian Flores. It might be someone on one of those offensive coordinators that may be let go.
I think
just to make a statement.
With the Jacksonville, they're going through their own personal hell right now. If you look at what's up with Urban,
right?
So they can't afford to lose to Jacksonville. Right. If Jacksonville gets their first win against the Dolphins in London, good night.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh man, I just grabbed this shirt, man, put it on. Yeah, man, I know the Dolphins won't be seeing the Super Bowl, so I just wanted to put this on real quick. It was a little wrinkled, but I'm all good.
Appreciate Lorenzo I.C. Thomas, man. My brother, sports brother.
Yeah. Are you kicking me out?
If you can hang around with us.
Oh yeah, I can hang, man. Come on now. I know I talked a whole lot, but still, I got some more. Let's talk Miami Heat.
We're gonna get to all of that. I will hit a break and come back on the other side. I got to give a big up to Round Table because they get the checks. You know what I'm saying? So big up to those guys as well. And everybody that was in town this weekend for Carnival, man. Carnival was lit. So we'll get to all of that. And Lorenzo brought up something that was very interesting about needing to have a difference maker. And I will tell you why a difference maker made all the difference in the world for all these teams in the NFL this past week. Be right back.
Brothers and sisters, let me take you back to school. It's all about the old school Sundays at the Round Table, 11205 Northwest 7th Avenue. The fun starts early at 6 p.m. with yours truly, baby, DJ Jeff Fox, playing the jam. We got pool tables, flat screen, and everywhere. Come watch the big game. And we've got the best daily happy hour in the city. The best bartenders serving up our daily drink special. Tequila sour, lemon drop, sex on the beach, amaretto sour, Washington apple, only $4. Margaritas only $5, and a whole lot more. You want shots? We got shots. Bacardi, Tito's, Tennessee, Patron. Why go anywhere else? Come vibe with us at the Round Table. Yes, the Round Table, 11205 Northwest 7th Avenue. And you know you got to be there.
Stepping up, flushed out, directs traffic, fires it wide open, is Knox, and he's in for his 5th touchdown of the season. Now they come. Here goes Allen. He's going to take over. He hurdles and picks up the first down. Whoa. Over L'Jarius Sneed he goes for a first down. What a 67. 3rd and 5, and that pass is intercepted. Micah Hyde's going to take it to the end zone. Off the hands of Tyreek Hill and into the hands of Micah Hyde for a Buffalo touchdown.
To contact the Jeff Fox Show, send your email to getthattea@gmail.com. That's GETDATTEA@gmail.com. The Jeff Fox Show is powered by the Brand Star Sports and Entertainment. Sports, entertainment's lifestyle. We give the people what they want. And now back to more of the Jeff Fox Show.
We are back in the Jeff Fox Show. Everybody turn down your headphones. I think we got a little echo going on.
Do you still hear it?
I still hear it. Down too. So maybe it is what it is. But what I wanted to get to, Lorenzo,
perfect.
was Josh.
I think what's happening here. Wait a minute. When I potted you down, that's when Randy said the echo disappeared. Let me see if I have you over here somewhere.
Go ahead.
All right.
Hold on.
This is the new way of radio, folks. So it is what it is, man. Everybody gets fired from regular radio. I still hear echo. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is a little bit of echo.
I lowered my headphones. So I'm good. Lower my mic. By the way, how is it, mic, guys?
What you're getting? Lower it. Your what you're hearing down a little bit, a lot more.
On my headphone?
No, you're good. Oh, actually, sound good.
There we are. Perfection. Yes.
Yeah, that's because I turned everything down.
Yeah.
Say that again.
All right, cool.
That's good?
Yeah. Fox.
I'm down.
Yeah.
How about now? Good?
Echo.
Echo.
There you go.
All right. So whatever it is, it would sound good at the club, but not on the podcast. Well, how about that can of whoop ass that Buffalo opened up on Kansas City last night?
Man.
And the dish was Josh Allen. Josh Allen jumping over mofos like he's Edward Moses. I mean, what the hell was that?
I call him White Cam. He plays like Cam Newton when he first got in the league.
He's beasting Tom Brady's beasting. Dak Prescott is beasting. The bad man, Aaron Rodgers. And you know what I realized? That my quarterback is just an ordinary ninja. That's it.
Wow.
Ordinary. Derek Carr.
You
can't win the game by yourself.
You can throw it. I just think his team around him isn't good.
Well,
I'm telling you right now, you're not going to win the Super Bowl with just some ordinary quarterback. I mean, it happened before. Trent Dilfer. Remember him?
That was 20 years ago, right? That was 2001.
Yep. The game has changed. It's all about quarterbacks right now. Look at Kyler Murray.
If you look at the game right now, like you're not allowed to touch receivers after 5 yards. So honestly, these numbers are definitely going to look crazy. Like, Kyler's going to throw crazy numbers. Mahomes is going to do crazy numbers, all because you can't touch a receiver.
Again, yeah. I mean, Buffalo smashed Kansas City last night, man, and that was impressive. I think they pretty much let everybody in the league know y'all gonna have to deal with us.
Yeah, they are the best team in the AFC. I actually think the best team in the NFL right now.
Based
on the teams that they've played. I mean, the game that they lost probably was, it was game 1 against the Steelers. They probably underestimated them just a little bit. They were at home, and they just got surprised by the defensive strategy that the Steelers put out there against them. So it kind of woke them up. Then the next week they came and shut out Miami. That's what they're supposed to do to the bad teams. And then they shut out Houston. That's what they're supposed to do to the bad teams. And then they beat down Kansas City, and I can't remember who they beat the week before. Washington, who's supposed to have a good defense.
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, but they're beating the teams, and they're beating them bad. And that's what the great teams do. Dallas, I heard you talking about Dallas and how well they are playing, but come on, man. I mean, look what they did to the Giants and who the Giants had, who the Giants lost.
No. I'm not going to let you do that to them Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys.
They can feel good about, and then who they beat.
The Dallas Cowboys might be the best team in all of football.
No,
not at all. Look at this.
No.
Extra men on the rush. Prescott airs it out. Lamb got it. Touchdown, Cowboys.
And
these guys to come out and do their job. That's what they're paid to do. Lennon, good protection. Downfield for Board. And hit. Diggs has got another. Number 6 on the year. And tackle at the 41. He is a vacuum.
How about them Cowboys? Woo, Lord. Yes, you will have to deal with Dallas Cowboy fans.
And the Giants were missing 7 of their 11
Who
starters.
cares? The Cowboys are kicking everybody to sleep.
Come on, man. I mean,
listen,
Cowboys.
Listen.
What? Okay, I'm going off the top. What playoff caliber team have they beat this year? I'm just going off the top.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, and that was a game they should have lost because I watched that game. They could have lost that game.
Did they win the game?
The Los Angeles Chargers at that time, we didn't know how good they were. So, all right, that was a game that they could have lost. Where was that game played? Was it played in Dallas too?
In Los Angeles.
Was it but I remember the play where Keenan Allen fell down in the end zone. Okay, so that's one.
And they
one win.
That's
one win. That's
the only
one
reason
win.
they lost to Tampa Bay, the defending Super Bowl champions, because the defense gave Tom Brady extra 30 seconds.
And who else did they beat? Who's
Whoever
the
else
other win
they
against? What was the other one? Who was the other? It was another. It was like another
Cowboys
Philadelphia. It was Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay.
The Cowboys are averaging 300 yards passing and over 200 yards on the ground.
The Buffalo Bills have the
game.
number one
That's
offense
number
and the
one.
number one defense in the NFL right now.
So
I'm saying you're saying I'm giving you these stats to say Buffalo is the best offense, best team in the NFL right now. You're trying to say it's the Cowboys, and I'm telling you that Buffalo has the number one offense and the number one defense in the NFL right now. And look at the teams that
let's not forget about Tyler Murray or Kyler Murray and that team in Arizona.
Meets the immovable object. And Lance going backwards as Arizona gets the goal line stop. Isaiah Simmons going low to hold Lance out.
Surely,
that
was a great hit.
That was a hell of a stop.
Currently undefeated right now at 5-0. I just
feel like a wall.
My only thing with the Cardinals is I know Cliff Kingsbury, and they can lose one and they can just go all downhill because that's what happened last year.
Yeah, exactly. Kyler Murray started off hot last year. I had him on my fantasy football team last year, so I know he was balling early on.
Right.
And then
the title of the show was Pretenders and Contenders. Okay. And here are my contenders: the Chargers, the Bills,
Contender.
the Buccaneers. As much as I hate to say it, I wanted the Cowboys.
Contender.
You got to put them in there.
Yeah.
And really, I thought San Francisco was going to win that game yesterday.
Especially with the schedule that the Cowboys have. They're paying that NFC least.
I'm leaving some Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay is a contender.
They're a contender.
And put the Ravens in there.
I think they're
really. It depends on what they do tonight.
A contender. You were saying contenders. So we got to put the Ravens in there. I mean, they're going to put it. They're going to slap down Indianapolis tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, Indianapolis has so many injuries. So it just depends on who's playing, whether or not they're going to be able to, make a game of it tonight. I think the Ravens are favored by 7.
Yeah, by the way, Big Phil on Facebook says, we back. And I think he's talking about the Cowboys. And Lamar Thomas, too.
Yeah. No, they're playing well. I mean, the Cowboy fans, they should be ecstatic because, they look really, really good. I mean,
it's the best Dallas Cowboy team I've seen
in a long time. I will give you that. But to call them the best NFL team or best team in the NFL right now, I have to give that to the Bills or even the Chargers. You know what I mean? So, but the Dallas did beat the Chargers, so basically, I would say it's the Bills. Now, maybe Dallas might be second, but right now, I would have to say the Bills.
What about the Chiefs? Even though the record isn't like that right now, I think
Chiefs ain't going. Chiefs ain't going nowhere.
Look. They still got Mahomes, man.
Yeah, they have had
I think the NFL has figured out Patrick Mahomes.
They haven't figured out Mahomes. They figured out their defense. Their defense is nothing. Plus, Chris Jones was out. So,
by the way, I didn't want to skid past this. That kid Diggs from the Dallas Cowboys. Here's his Lester Hayes impersonation.
These guys to come out and do their job. That's what they're paid to do. Lennon, good protection. Downfield for Board and hit. Diggs has got another.
That boy's a ball hawk.
No, that is an Xavier Howard impersonation from last year. That's what he's doing.
Xavier Howard, man. Tom Brady just torched
I said, what? Did you hear? Are you listening? I said that's an impersonation from last year.
Howard does not deserve to be mentioned.
That was from last year. That's what he looked like. And what even bothers me more, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but the Dolphins could have drafted Trevor Diggs in the second round.
Agreed.
And they went with Noah Ignominy
in
the first round.
This kid looks amazing.
Well, he didn't look this great last year, but he looks great now.
5 straight games with an INT.
Yeah, he's up to 6 right now. Like he could actually go past 10 INTs. But I mean, look, I still got faith in Noah because Noah has everything. It's just something's not clicking. I think next year, I think he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you drafted the kid. He was like 19.
Yeah.
He was 19 years old. And then Byron Jones gets hurt. And then you put him out there against Stephon Diggs. And Stephon torched him. in that game, and his confidence is shook. I mean, all off season he was working with Xavier Howard and all the other cornerbacks trying to get his confidence up, but in training camp he was getting toasted in training camp. So
you know who I feel bad for, guys? Dan Campbell, former Miami Dolphin coach.
Oh yeah,
who's now coaching the Detroit Lions. I mean, they came so close yesterday, but Dan, there's no crying in football.
Look, you want it for yourself as an organization and for all of us, but you want it for those players. I mean, they're out there busting their ass, and it's tough. When you see your players give all that they have, and you lose that way, it's tough.
Man, don't do it, though. Hey, they got the handkerchiefs, man.
You gotta understand, football is a game of savages. If you can be sensitive, yeah, man, there's something about it.
He cares.
No, man. Dan Campbell, you cannot do that in front of your team, man. This is how you should be talking to your team.
Man, I don't know what he's missing. He getting a chance at education, the great equalizer at life, but he acting like he's doing somebody a favor because he come from a generation that when he do what he's supposed to do, they give him a cookie for doing what he's supposed to do. They give him a reward for doing what he's supposed to do instead of saying, no, Doc, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to work hard. You know the crazy thing about it? Cats do what's required and they think they working. It's required. You're supposed to do that.
You know what I mean? You're supposed to work hard. You didn't win. I don't want to hear they played hard.
They was playing so hard.
They all played so hard, and we lost the game. Get out of here with that BS.
What was the football player that said?
James Harrison. James Harrison, the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you want, a cookie? We're going to give participation trophies. Everybody gets a trophy.
I gotta correct you on that. That's not just football player James Harrison. That's football/actor James Harrison right now.
Oh,
acting.
Yeah.
What did he appear in, Randy?
Hills, the wrestling show on Stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. What was the name of the show again? I missed that.
Hills, like
Skills.
Hills, like
Hills. Oh, okay.
He plays Apocalypse, and they give him the least amount of lines ever because, acting is an art form.
It sure is.
So I think we're all in agreement that the contenders are the Cardinals, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Bills, the Packers. That's pretty much it. Unless we left somebody out.
50-50 on the Cardinals. They look great for now, but I won't judge them until they play a good team. That's it.
I mean, I would still include Kansas City in there. They have had a tough schedule to start the season, just like the Dolphins. I mean, everything come back to the Dolphins with me,
Lorenzo.
Because I think they've had some tough games. I mean, even if you, as a Dolphin fan, if you asked me at the beginning of the season, looking at the first 5 games, I would have predicted probably 2-3. Because we had New England. We never went in New England. Then we played Buffalo. I think we would have lost to Buffalo. The Vegas game is the one I thought we would have won, and the Colts game I thought we would have won at the beginning of the season. So 1-4 is disappointing, but I would have predicted 2-3 at the beginning of the season. But it's the way that the Dolphins have lost that's so disappointing. And Kansas City has been in these games, and once the schedule lets up, you'll start, getting on a roll, getting their confidence back, and you'll see them later on. So they are still a contender, but they've had a tough schedule coming out of the gate. And every time you look at the Ravens, they're on prime time. So
they're playing tonight.
Yeah, they're playing tonight.
Uncle Mom's momentum. Once you get one win, they can start rolling in.
That's right.
All right, man. So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting week, especially around here, around those Miami Dolphins, man. A lot of folks very upset right now, not very happy with those folks down here in Miami. Other big sports news this weekend: we had the fight, and I guess I didn't reach out, on a limb, but I picked Tyson Fury to win this fight, and here's the way it ended.
body shot, and then he's going to come up top. And at this point, when you're fatigued, you see the punch coming, but you can't really get out of the way of it. Both guys got extremely long arms, but Wilder has been taking those kind of shots for the past 5 or 6 rounds, and you think he's done, and then he answers, but he couldn't answer with this 1-2 from Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder went out the way that he wanted to go.
Ouch!
Poor. Oh man. I mean, that whole fight, he was just getting tagged.
I will tell you guys, I did not watch the fight. Stephen A. Smith said that it was the greatest fight he ever saw. Mike Dixon, my friend from Las Vegas, Sports Network as well, said it was the greatest fight he ever saw. Not in my. Well, maybe they met in person. I don't know, because I saw Hagler, Hearns, and
they had to say no.
Yeah.
He said Stephen A. I heard him in person.
In person, okay.
You know, that was the greatest fight he's ever seen in person. So, I mean,
I didn't see the knockdowns earlier, Lorenzo. Did you guys watch the fight?
Yeah, I watched the fight. I called your cousin to make sure everything was straight. I called Rod. I called Rod, boy. Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah.
So when Wilder knocked Fury down,
knocked him down. Mm-hmm.
I heard he got a long count.
Yes, he stayed. But he was still, I mean, he still had his wits about him, but he just waited until about 9. So it wasn't like he was stumbling and, you know, he didn't have his wits about him. He heard the count. He went. In fact, it was kind of like he got hit and then he got hit like in the head. It was like he got hit here. And it was like kind of like a delayed reaction. And then he hit the ground and then he stayed there. And then he, you know, the count, then he came up. And then Wilder hit him with another one and it boom. He kind of pushed him, and then he went down again, but it was still a knockdown.
I don't think Wilder can box.
That's what the theater of the fight was, because Wilder got knocked down. I believe it was in the 3rd round, right? And then Fury gets knocked out. I think it was the very next round. So the drama and the theater, it was a great fight. It actually was. It was a great fight. And you're comparing it to what you've seen from boxing over the last 10, 15, 20 years. Does it compare to Hearns and Hagler? No. Does it compare to Sugar Ray Leonard against Hagler? No. It doesn't come close, because these guys are not as technically sound as boxers as those fighters were. So basically, Wilder came out throwing a jab, and everyone was excited about him throwing a jab. I'm like, you're excited about him throwing a jab?
Well, I would have been too, because I don't think he can box.
Yeah, because all he has is that right. And then you had Fury throwing a couple of combinations. I'm sitting here watching the fight, and I'm like, can somebody throw a combination? Can I see a combination? Can I see a hook? And then Tyson threw a couple of combinations, and then when he would get close to Wilder, he would just put that 270 pounds on him. And he would just lay on him.
It's so crazy.
You know, the ref had a tough time.
It's so crazy. A 270 pounder has a better stamina than a 225 pounder.
And he's all muscle. He's all muscle, but he has no skills.
Right, I mean, you got to give. Who you talking
skills.
about?
Wilder.
Yeah. I mean, he's a great puncher. He's got that right hand, and Fury was ready for it. I mean, because you could see it coming. That's the difference.
You can't like Wilder on the street,
right? So, no. You know what I mean?
I'm saying, you know, the guy in the club who's going talking loud. Hey man, I'll whoop your.
Relax.
A lot of barking.
We are discounting how great Wilder is, but also
great
Fury is one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen. For how big and how great his feet is. How
damn, Randy Savage. You could like saying Butterbean is great.
Wow.
I mean, look, nobody can move at 6'9" like he could, bro.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you're saying he's the best boxer you've ever seen. Right, and then Stephen A. is saying it's the best fight he's ever seen.
Overreaction Monday.
I prefer middleweights and welterweights.
Right,
but for a heavyweight fighter, he's one of the best I've seen. Better than I've seen the Klitschko. I've seen the Klitschko's both of them fight. I've seen Lennox fight. Lennox is good. I love. But
I was about to say. Now that would make a good fight. Lennox Lewis against Fury.
Anthony Joshua, who just lost a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I see him fight, and Fury would destroy him, honestly.
Right.
As a heavyweight, he's one of the best heavyweights I've seen in the past 15, 20 years.
Well, my guy, Robert Littell from Black Sports Online gave his assessment of the fight, and he does not think it's necessarily over for Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder wanted to go out on his shield, and his shield is what he went out on. Boxing fans often throw fighters in the trash when they take an L. But there's nothing wrong with taking an L when you're fighting elite competition. I will let Pops explain.
You're scared to take an ass whipping. This is what makes you a man. When I was growing up, this was all the protection we needed. You win some, you lose some. But you live to fight another day.
Listen.
And I guess he's saying that Deontay Wilder is going to live to fight another day. He just can't beat Tyson Fury. Like, I don't want to see them fight again.
Look at this. It's just a bad Saturday for all of Alabama. Alabama A&M got smoked by Jackson State at their homecoming, 61-15. Alabama loses to Texas A&M, and Deontay Wilder, Alabama's, native son, got knocked out by Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Poor Bama.
Yeah, but Jeff, I think a lot of people were prisoners of the moment. I mean, if you heard the commentators, it's blasphemous to compare it to Ali Frazier. That's what I was hearing. And I am like, oh hell no. All three of them, none of them come close to Ali Frazier. 1, 2, or the Thriller in Manila. I think the Thriller in Manila was the last one.
What a fight for Kenny.
I mean, just the quality of the fight. What made it great was the theater, and the only comparison is that they have fought 3 times. That's it. That's the only comparison. But they actually uttered Muhammad Ali and Frazier. The commentator, Lennox Lewis, and the other commentators mentioned that oh my God, it was as good as that. Even though I didn't see those fights. Like, I got those fights on DVD. Those guys fought 15 rounds.
Right.
It doesn't come close. The only comparison is that they fought 3 times. But I'm telling you, I'm watching the fight saying, hey, Wilder, why don't you throw an uppercut? Wait, where is your uppercut? You're down, you're going down low. Come with an uppercut. Where's the right hook? Where's the left hook? I mean, I'm watching and I'm waiting for combinations. That's what I'm watching this fight. And then I see Fury throw a couple, and then lay on the guy. So, I mean, if anyone, I would say go back and watch those Ali Frazier fights. And in fact, if you think about it, I mean, George Foreman won the heavyweight championship when he was 40-something years old. You know what I'm saying? So you look at the quality of those fighters back then, these fighters today couldn't hold their jocks. Now, it would be kind of hard to beat Tyson because he's so big. But I would have to say that, the Lennox Lewises, the Muhammad Alis, those that are tall in stature would find a way to defeat him, because they're gonna beat him on points. Because he's not. I mean, Ali would just beat him on points and just dance and move away from him because it would be hard for him to get him. And if he could take a punch from Foreman, he could take a punch from Fury.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. We're gonna hit a quick break, everybody. Come back, reset the table because I do want to talk to the gentleman about the John Gruden situation. My Raiders.
Ask you about that.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. I also want to get to the Dave Chappelle Netflix situation with that as well. All right, it's Monday night football tonight. We'll be back right after this.
Brothers and sisters, let me take you back to school. It's all about the old school Sundays at the Round Table, 11205 Northwest 7th Avenue. The fun starts early at 6 p.m. with yours truly, baby, DJ Jeff Fox, playing the jam. We got pool tables, flat screen everywhere. Come watch the big game. And we've got the best daily happy hour in the city. The best bartenders serving up our daily drink special. Tequila sour, lemon drop, sex on the beach, amaretto sour, Washington apple, only $4. Margaritas only $5, and a whole lot more. You want shots? We got shots. Bacardi, Tito's, Tennessee, Patron. Why go anywhere else? Come vibe with us at the Round Table. Yes, the Round Table, 11205 Northwest 7th Avenue. And you know you got to be there.
Minutes to play. 7 defensive backs. 3rd and 12. Fields. Tight window. First down. Mooney with the grab. Threading the needle. Justin Fields, the rookie. 1:42 to go in this first half. 2nd down and 6. Carr. Pocket collapses. Slam down. Khalil Mack. The revenge game for Mack.
So the end and the tackle.
To contact the Jeff Fox Show, send your email to getdatte@gmail.com. That's GETDATTEA@gmail.com. The Jeff Fox Show is powered by the Brand Star Sports and Entertainment. Sports, entertainment's lifestyle. We give the people what they want. And now back to more of the Jeff Fox Show.
Yeah! Back in the Jeff Fox Show, Randy Savage, Lorenzo I.C. Thomas in the big house with your boy.
Yes.
And we saw my Raiders go down, and they went down hard yesterday to the Chicago Bears on the heel of John Gruden allegedly dealing with some controversy. Actually, he is dealing with some controversy because 10 years ago, he uttered some racial slurs. He says it's not racial. I always call people that lie big lips and all some BS he echoed. Like I don't know. He said the Maurice Smith lips was like Michelin tires. He called him dumb Maurice Smith. I met the Maurice Smith in person. Met him at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. More than a decade ago.
Oh,
he's been on the job that long.
Not this one.
No,
not the one in Miami.
The one in Miami. When the
that was so long ago. That's right. Sheesh.
New Orleans Saints. Yeah, that was a while ago.
You say he had lips like bubblegum from Bubblegum Strip?
Yeah, he said.
No, it was the Michelin tires.
Michelin
it was the tires.
tires.
Yeah.
Michelin tires. I mean, y'all seen Gump? Y'all see Bumble Gumps?
I just don't know, man. I've been going back and forth with Rodney the intern on this. I'm leaning towards he should be really disciplined hard for this, but he wasn't working for the NFL. He's working for ESPN. He was not working for the Raiders. He was working for ESPN. I think if John Gruden loses this locker room, he's got to go. If he can maintain order in that locker room, meaning that he gets the support of his black players and his white players, that you got to keep, you got to know also that he has a great player in that locker room, Carl Nassib, who I love, by the way. He needs to play more. He's number 94.
He's a player.
Hell of a player. Hell of a player. I don't care who he sleeps with. Can you sack the quarterback? And he can sack the quarterback. That's what it's all about. So John Gruden really messed up.
Look, they're gonna punish him, but they're not gonna fire him because we've seen this happen over and over and over. What happened to Riley Cooper? Riley Cooper said the N-word at a country concert and got a promotion.
Yeah.
So he'll get punished. He'll probably lose some money in his pocket. The the Raiders might slap him on the wrist, but he's gonna just still be the coach of that team.
Yeah, I don't think really anything should happen to him. Like Jeff said, something that happened 10 years ago. He wasn't with the Raiders. He wasn't an NFL coach. He was working with ESPN. And I mean, how are you gonna find or suspend someone for something that they send in a private email to someone?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like if I send something to Jeff talking about you, Randy Savage, and I say, you know, your twists remind me of Kunta Kinte. You know, if you know, and I just send it in an email to Jeff, who is my friend, and I'm putting a description of your dreads. And if I'm white and I do that, you know, someone may look at that as being a racial statement. I'm comparing you to Kunta Kinte, but that's something I shared with Jeff, and I kind of probably between me and Jeff, it was a joke between Gruden and whoever he was sending that email to, because he may not show that he's racist amongst black people, but when you get in that comfort zone and you're talking to those specific people where you know you can talk like that, that's where that conversation will take place. And that's in a private email that you sent to someone. So, I mean, it really gets down to, like, we have to really watch everything. Like right now, what we're doing and what I'm saying live, I have to be careful about what I say because someone could take offense for that. Say, for example, I'm up for a job with the Miami Dolphins, and if I don't say exactly what the Dolphins want me to say, I'll never get the job. You know, or if I'm going to get a job at a radio station, they're sitting there watching to see, is he sensitive to, you know, black people's plight or gay people's plight. But this is what I'm saying live, publicly. John Gruden sent it in an email to someone, you know, and I don't think he should be penalized for that. He's being penalized enough with the performance of what the Raiders put down yesterday. And when he has to walk in that locker room and look at those African American, those black players that put on that black Raider uniform, and you walk into that locker room, and some of those same black players have lips that are the size of Michelin tires. How are those guys looking at you now? That is punishment enough because he can't feel comfortable walking into that locker room. And Jeff, you could tell me better than anyone else, how many of the players that a 53-man roster and then the 18 players that are on the practice squad are black? You probably have to say about 40 of them.
Yeah.
Safe to say? Safe to say? So now that's the punishment. Now, are these guys going to continue to play for him? And what type of apologies has he exhibited to them? Because the apology that I heard publicly was weak. You know, it's like, we need to move on from this. Like, no. Some people are bothered by your comments. So does he need to be penalized by the NFL? I say, no, they'll be overstepping their boundaries. He's going through enough right now that he's trying to prove that he's not a racist. And then he has issues with what Randy Moss came out, you know, and had to say and how he felt about his comments. I mean, he was crying on television about his comments. And then you have what Keyshawn Johnson said. I told you he wasn't a good guy. He didn't call him a racist, but he just told everyone that he was not a good guy. So that's what John Gruden has to deal with. And, you know, that's going to be punishment enough.
Yeah, I got a little bit of what Randy Moss had to say right here.
From a guy like John Gruden, where he's done so much for the game of football. But as a player going out today, the Raiders are coming off a loss. And it's hard for us. Y'all know as a coach and as players, y'all know throughout the week how hard it is to get back on track coming after a loss or even a win, just preparing each and every week. And now we have a bump in the road from leadership coming from above from our head coach. So how can we focus going into a game where we're uncertain where this is going or what direction our team is going in? And you heard Adam Schefter talking about the one black player. Well, you don't want to say his name because he's totally wrong, and this is not understanding the magnitude of something like this. We're going into the 21st century. Okay? And instead of us moving forward, we're moving backwards. And I really don't know what percentage of the National Football League is black, but I know it's over 50%, 60, 70%. Okay? And I know we generate a whole lot of money for this National Football League. And for you to hear Adam Schefter talking about some discipline from Al Davis, the clock is ticking. We are watching to see what the National Football League is going to do about this because, like I just said, we're trying to move forward going into the to the 21st century with the National Football League. And you talking about the kids from 10, 15 years from now that's going to come into the league. What is this showing them?
Yep. I mean, it's very valid points. And, it's tough.
Yeah, and I think what's really tough about it is that we have to all look at ourselves now. You know, like I was mentioning last time, it's like, you know, wow, whose tweet did I retweet? Yeah. You know, does that mean I co-sign their feelings? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the way I felt back in 2010, you know, about someone in particular and how they, you know, what they were saying at that time. But I may not feel the same way 10 years later. You know, we all evolve as people, but now we got to, you know, we have to be careful about what we put up on social media, what we put out there on Facebook, or what we put out there on IG, you know. And it's just, it's really unfortunate that we're in this position. And Randy talked about us, you know, trying to move forward, and it's like we're taking a step back.
Yeah.
It's not we're not taking a step back because it's still been going on. Mm-hmm. And so those are the conversations that they're having behind closed doors. Right. You know, that we'll have the meeting, we'll have the corporate will have, you know, the meeting with the staff, you know, and then they'll come together and we'll talk and we'll come up with ideas. And then after that, they're going to have another meeting. And for those that were brutally honest about their opinions, they'll say that those people are not, they're not team players, because they're not down with the agenda. But you just had a meeting and you asked me for my opinion and I gave you my opinion, but because you don't like my opinion, I'm not a team player. Yeah. So it's, you know, just that group, it's that management meeting, and it's that corporate meeting where they just feel as if, okay, as long as we go out there and we do something, you know, for the black community, we can go ahead and check that off our list. You know, okay, we'll make sure we show up at this parade. We'll make sure we do that, you know, but yet and still you don't have anyone black on your management team, but yet and still you're trying to cater to black people, and you're receiving dollars from the black community, and you're advertising towards the black audience, but you don't have any black representation.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what the league has done, especially when it comes to Black Lives Matter and the racism thing that they have on the back of their jerseys or their thing, or in racism when they're putting on the field, but like, what actions are they doing to actually end it?
Right.
Like we said, I mean, Harvey Dolphins got a black coach and a GM.
Right.
You know, we're a little upset at them right now.
Right.
But there aren't any black coaches right now, or there aren't any black people that are, like I said, are leads in the league. Like you said, 80% of the players right now are all black. Like, you know, they're just playing the field, but they're.
This is a tough one, man.
It's nuts, man. I mean, I'm happy they got Jay-Z to help out with the whole initiative.
Yeah. But and he has helped put together the halftime Super Bowl show, you know? Yeah, right. And I believe the year after this or the year after that, he's going to perform. You know what I'm saying? It's setting up for him to perform. Watch.
It's all cool, but like, how are you actually going to put steps in ending racism in the league?
Right. What's the call to action?
Yeah, tough one, man. And then we got the other drama going on with Netflix and Dave Chappelle. Real quickly, gentlemen, is this cancel culture getting out of control? Are we overreacting?
Of course we are. Look at what happened with Demi Lovato saying it's rude to call aliens aliens. Fam, come on. I'm just gonna start saying "F your feelings, fam."
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I saw the clip. You know, I saw. I mean,
so did you see the entire? Did either one of you see the entire special?
I watched
it twice, and I fell asleep on it twice. But And it's really good, though. It's really good.
It's
Again.
solid, but
You probably had done
makes a great
the club the night before. That's why. Okay, all right. You
he
get a
makes
pass for that
he
one.
makes a great point, though. He says they care more about
Say it.
LGBTQ feelings than actual black bodies.
Right.
I saw a video where a girl says, "Be careful what you say about the LGBTQ. They've been through enough." Somebody actually saw the statistics and said that they had like I think 28
deaths this year.
This year, and then somebody else pointed like if you look at how many black men are killed by police officers, and then you also have the murders, it doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah. The line that hit me the most, because I am a huge fan of this gentleman right here. So I gotta put the shirt up. This is the man as far as I'm concerned. Was the line when he said it's easier for people to accept the fact that Bruce Jenner can change his sex, but it's harder for Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay to change his name to Muhammad Ali. No one was there was no uproar about Bruce Jenner doing that. But of course, this guy loses his title and you want to put him in jail for changing his name. When he made that point, I was like, ooh. And then the point about people, someone else he made so many valid points on that special. He's absolutely brilliant. He is the GOAT of this generation right now. Each special just continues to get better and better. He's smart, he's intelligent, and when he says something, he'll reel you in with some dumb-ish, and then he'll hit you with the intelligent stuff to make you think. But there was also, I'm trying to remember the other point that I wanted to make. I just lost it. But there was just so many things in there that he said. I can't remember my point.
He knew he was going to get attacked because he said this is his last special for a while.
Yeah. But when he talked about the trans that you want to call him transphobic, but he had a trans opening up, gave her a job, and she was opening up for his show, right? And because she defended Dave when people were attacking Dave, they turned and attacked her, and then she ends up committing suicide. Now, we don't know why she committed suicide, but when you're getting attacked by your own people because she's standing up for someone that you're accusing to be transphobic, but he gives you a job and he is currently the GOAT at his craft, and then she says to her people, no, you don't know him the way that I know him, and they didn't want to listen. They didn't care what she had to say about someone that gave her a job, and it got too much. Whatever the pressures were, she ended up committing suicide. I think by him telling that story, and it was a true story, sent a message that I don't think a lot of them are hearing. The same type of criticism that you feel that we may be giving you because you decide you no longer want to be a man or a woman is the same criticism that you directed to one of your own, and possibly allegedly caused her to take her life.
Yeah.
And that's truly unfortunate. It
It
really
is.
is.
These conversations are always very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
I have people I love, family members on both sides of this issue. And I can't shrug my shoulders to it. It's a conversation that needs to be had.
Right.
And so, we're not going to back away from anything here on this platform. That's why we do what we do.
Right. And the other point I wanted to make that Dave made that I thought was powerful was that he was talking about when he was giving his opinions, and people were saying, well, what do you know? Or who are you? And then when he said, well, I can't remember the phrase that he used. I wish I would have written it down, but he said, well, I'll tell you who I am. I'm the one who walked away from $50 million because I wanted to uphold my integrity. Basically, that's who I am. So basically, I have walked the walk and have earned the right to give you my opinion on this subject because I've experienced it and I walked away from it because I wanted to have my own peace of mind and I wanted to keep my own integrity. He said it totally differently, but I think you remember the point in the special where he said that, and that was a drop the mic moment there. Like, who am I? I'll tell you who I am. Boom. Like, brilliant. Just brilliant. You know, he's at the top of his game. I mean, if you want to talk about the all-time greats, you got to start with Richard. You know, then I think you have to give Eddie his props, and then right now it's Chappelle. It's those three right now. You know, through our lifetime. You know what I mean? That we would say are the GOATs. You give Eddie, I mean, you give Richard the 70s, you give, you know, Eddie the 80s, you know, and the 90s or what have you, and then you got to give Chappelle from the last 20 years, basically.
No doubt. Gentlemen, it's been a long show. It's been a great show, though. Enjoyed having you all here on the platform. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Monday Night Football tonight, folks. I got the Ravens. I think it's going to be a tough game tonight. Colts and the Ravens.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that earlier today. Colts and Ravens. I got Ravens winning.
You're asking. It just depends really on how healthy the Colts are. I mean, how many of their starters? They were missing a lot of players last week, their last game. So if they are missing as many players as they had last week, it's going to be Baltimore, the Ravens, without a doubt. It's going to be the Ravens. You know, and you're going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Also played tonight too. They played preseason against Charlotte.
We didn't talk Heat, Jeff.
Yeah, we did. We kind of ran out of time a little bit.
Okay,
already now and having to show, but we will talk Heat this week as well as we get ready for the season opener, and we'll talk my Lakers.
Randy, this is why he didn't want to talk Heat. That's why I keep forgetting.
Westbrook had 15 turnovers in 2 games.
Oh,
there, I said it.
Oh my goodness! See, I mean the Heat. I mean, I know it's preseason. But when
I gotta say this to Lorenzo,
can I get my point in? When their backups beat San Antonio's starters, that speaks volumes. Their backups beat San Antonio's starters, and they had the starters out there. You know, and that was truly impressive. And had a 19-point lead in that game, and they held on to win. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
By the way, Tyler Hero was out there as well. But the NBA GMs said that the Heat have the best front office, and Eric Spoelstra was voted as the top coach.
Yep.
In the NBA.
So kudos.
Finally getting the respect they deserve.
I'm just happy preseason's here. I don't have to get depressed by the Dolphins season anymore.
Hey, we'll have a lot more of that and other stuff here on the show, all right? We got to check out, man. Appreciate everybody.
All right, Jeff. All right, Randy.
Right, yo.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We're out of here.
You've been listening to The Jeff Fox Show. Jeff Fox Show. Join us next time on the same platform for another exciting episode of The Jeff Fox Show. Remember, there's no Jeff Fox Show without your support. Continue to support The Jeff Fox Show via Cash App at #RadioHost1. This has been a production of The Jeff Fox Show Incorporated.